They called me fucking crazy, but I'm gonna make this video one last time.
It has almost been a year of 2025, and for those that don't remember, Black Ops 2 took place in 2025. And a year ago, I did all the kill streaks that are in Black Ops 2 that are in real life now. I'm pretty sure we're on this timeline. Like, Raul Menendez is out there somewhere. And I have not seen anyone else make this video, so here I am for the third time this year. I'm going to show you all of the Black Ops 2 kill streaks that are in real freaking life right now. And someone needs to validate this, because every time I post this video, it doesn't do well. So here we are, number 3. Here we go.
RCXD inbound.
First off the freaking rip, the RCXD, okay? This isn't that crazy, all right? You might be sitting here saying, well, why does it have to exist in 2025? It could have existed so many years earlier, and freaking Black Ops 1 had it, and that was supposed to take place during Vietnam. But you know why? You know why I say that this is way more common? Because RC cars aren't expensive. You can go on Temu and buy an RC car for like fucking nothing. And we all saw what drones are doing in Ukraine, so, you know, it's just literally the IED, but it drives. And don't worry, we'll get to drones. So the RCXD, anyone can make that exist. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this.
Friendly UAV inbound.
We don't really need to go crazy into freaking spy planes. You know why? Because they've existed for like decades at this point. Like just unmanned surveillance drones. Those things have existed, okay? So we're not going to go too crazy with it, to the point that freaking China's got shit that looks like birds and flies like birds now, okay? That's more unsettling than the UAVs.
Drone ready for deployment.
Do we really need to go into hunter-killer drones? Like, Iranian Shahad drones, while they are a lot larger, it's literally throw and explode. There are plenty of instances of not just freaking quadcopters, but like the Russians have made drones that are like little freaking RC planes. So it's really not that crazy to think about, oh, I'm going to just have this thing hooked to a motion sensor, flip the wings out, turn it on, and yeet that shit, like in the game. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that this shit doesn't exist.
Care package inbound.
Care package, not that nuts. It's really not that crazy to sit here and think about, you know, dropping something from a helicopter or an aircraft to resupply a unit.
Counter UAV inbound.
Counter UAVs freaking exist, man, okay? In the Russia-Ukraine war right now, because drones are such a freaking problem, they have entire zones that are just jammed, okay? So flying a jammer around ain't that nuts. Granted, it's harder because it's harder to control, because you're putting a freaking frequency jammer on something that needs a frequency to fly. But you know where they're not having this problem? With the fly-by-wire drones, which we're going to get into at some point in this video probably, okay? But basically the short of it is they don't use frequency. There's these little wires that come out of these drones. They don't use frequency. It's little fiber optic wires that are like the size of spider webs, and they can fly those drones for however much wire is coming out of the damn drone, and they just hook jammers to it, and it knocks out frequency-based shit in that area. So it's really not that crazy to have these. So to put it on like a full-size aircraft, like the F-35 does it, okay? I'm just talking about small packages, really. But big time? Yeah, that shit exists. Okay, the Guardian freaked me the hell out in the game because everybody was like, oh, it's not that good of a kill streak. But really, you were just locking off an entire avenue of the map. And if you were playing something like freaking Yacht, you could lock off a whole center and make it really inconvenient for players to run that way. And yeah, you could just pick people off. Now, the crazy thing is, this shit has existed since the early 2000s, okay? It's shooting microwaves, from my understanding, and can cause pain and even freaking death, okay? Look at these testing videos. That's terrifying. So that shit exists. It's just not practical, or at least they say it's not practical, but that shit exists.
Friendly Hellstorm missile inbound.
Okay, the Hellfire missiles. These things have been a staple in Call of Duty freaking multiplayer for years. It's really not that nuts to have a missile fired from something and then being controlled by an individual on the ground. Granted, it's not exactly a touch screen that we're aware of, but they do have stuff that you can laser designate and mark a target and basically just put that shit on the target that simply. So that shit's wild.
Lightning strike on standby.
Okay, the lightning strike. It's literally just a targeted area of a ground strike, all right? It looks like the F-35 in the game. It's probably what they were basing it off of, because when the game came out, the F-35 was still like coming out. It was in development, like people were aware of it, so I think they just probably assumed, hey, this thing looks like this new thing that they're building. So yeah, this shit exists. All it is just, airstrike. Those things have been around since freaking World War II, okay? So to think that we have them in 2025, not that crazy.
Sentry gun ready for deployment.
You're not ready for freaking sentry guns, okay? These things are wild. I know they had them in Black Ops 1, which once again took place during Vietnam. But holy shit, okay? These things are so advanced and so useful to the point that there is a video, and I'm going to hope I can find it for this, okay? There is a video of, in Ukraine, a 240 Bravo hooked up to an automated turret that a dude was controlling with a Steam Deck, okay? With a freaking Steam Deck. Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. These dudes were literally sitting in a bunker, in a trench, with a 240 outside, with thousands of rounds hooked up to it, and just doming dudes as they were running across a field in Ukraine. Shit's wild. Hopefully I can find this clip, because I can never find it when I'm telling people about it, but there's some mad lad that has found a way to, basically fight the drone issue by just taking an AR, putting it in this traversable system that it can, with pinpoint accuracy, fire one shot and shoot down a drone that's like this big, flying directly at it in like under a second. And it can shoot down waves of these things as it's coming in. And it does it automatically with no one manning it. And this mad lad has just built it in his garage, and he shows the testing of it sitting in the back of his minivan on a gun range, okay? That's insane. And awesome that someone was smart enough to develop this to counter the drone issue, which is a big issue in modern, in the modern military climate. Shit's crazy.
Death machine synced up. War machine deployed.
The Death Machine and the War Machine at the exact same time. The War Machine is a grenade launcher that has existed for multiple years. As far as I know, the Marine Corps is the only ones that have fielded it. I forget what this thing is called, like the actual designator, so I'm sorry. But this thing has existed for multiple years, firing 40mm grenades out of a rotary chamber, like a big old revolver. I've never fired one. I've never held one. I literally, when I was a teenager, I had an airsoft version of one. And I remember having the airsoft one, and I didn't love it because it was heavy. So I can't imagine how heavy the real one is. And it's like awkward, and you can't really sling it all that well. So I don't know. I've never used one. But nonetheless, this thing has existed for decades at this point. The minigun itself, freaking wild. When it's a mounted minigun, like on a vehicle or on an aircraft, like, guys have used these things for a couple of years, especially during GWAT. There's a really crazy video out there of some dudes in Afghanistan. I think it was one of the teams. I don't know, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, but they were using it. That seems to be something that is only given to top tier units. But there's been plenty of videos of dudes trying to use these as man packs, both shooting 5.56 or 308. The videos of dudes holding these things level, I found out in looking this stuff up prior to the video that when they're holding it level, like in movies and shit, it's because they're using blanks, because there's so much recoil, and the rate of fire, even out of a 5.56, which isn't a high caliber bullet in any capacity, there's so much recoil that it's just not controllable, and you really only kind of get like one burst out of it.
Dragonfire deployed.
So this was one that was completely conceptual for a really, really long time. The Dragonfire, okay? When I originally made the video in January of 2025, I couldn't fully do this one because I had no footage of anyone other than those crazy dudes that strapped a Glock to a drone a couple of years ago. I had no footage of anyone successfully firing a weapon consistently from a drone. And that has changed over the past year from, once again, the war in Ukraine. Yeah, someone strapped an AK as well as a shotgun to one of these things and has successfully taken out troops. Once again, man-made horrors beyond human comprehension. Yeah, so crazily enough, exists in 2025.
Friendly AGR inbound.
The AGR, by far the most underrated kill streak in this goddamn game. You were a drivable robotic juggernaut, okay? The AGR was so freaking cool, and so many people didn't use it, and it was considered like a sweat lord tactic, but that thing was awesome as hell. I don't care what anyone says. If you're trying to win a damn game, you had the AGR as one of your kill streaks. And there are 100% robots with guns on them. Now, I don't know how many of them are as armored as the AGR or have rockets on them. I'm going to see what I can find because I'm not going to lie, I didn't tackle this kill streak when I made my original video. But putting a weapon on a remote control device and using it successfully ain't that crazy.
Friendly stealth chopper inbound.
Stealth chopper. It exists, plain and simple. Okay? The U.S. Army says it's adopting it soon, or it says it is. Who knows how these things work with, like, equipment acquisitions for the military? But, yeah, no, that thing exists. Slapping guns on it ain't that crazy of an idea.
Escort drone inbound.
The escort drone. In the game, it followed you around, and it attempted to give you fire support and kill enemies around you to make it, that much easier for you to survive longer. Really ain't that crazy. I keep talking about the drones in Ukraine. If you really just had some dude sitting back there with a weaponized drone following you around to give you fire support, not that crazy. Or if you had designators on your teammates that, told the drone, hey, don't shoot these guys, but shoot everyone else. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Friendly EMP systems detonated.
The EMP is the only one that doesn't exist. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? There's a lot of science behind how an electromagnetic pulse works, but there's no way that you could use an EMP on a battlefield and your stuff still works. I'm sorry. It's just not possible unless for whatever reason, only your stuff was shielded against EMPs. And it also comes down to the fact that EMPs take out things that are working, right? So the only way to really force an EMP in the modern world, at least with the science that we know as I understand it, and I might be wrong, please feel free to correct me, is you'd have to detonate essentially a small nuclear device in a very specific way in specific atmospheric conditions to have like a mass field. Now, you could create an electromagnetic field that disables devices, but if they are shielded against electromagnetic fields or they have electromagnets in them, you're not going to knock them out.
Orbital VSAT online.
Orbital VSAT. Holy crap, did I struggle to say that. This thing was insane in the game because it showed you exactly where people were. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know because I don't work in the Air Force or Space Force, but I have a really strong feeling that this thing exists to the point that they can zoom in and take a picture. It's hot in here. Take a picture of someone's license plate from space. I have a feeling that they can track people in real time.
Friendly Warthog inbound.
The A10 exists. We all know the A10 exists. All right, they're getting a new model of the A10. Here's it. You know what? Screw me explaining this. Here's just a bunch of A10 footage.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to... Okay.
You're welcome. You know what? Wait, one more. God, I love that sound.
Lodestar inbound.
All right, the Lodestar. It's essentially a stealth AC-130. That's what it was used for in the game. Could you take a stealth vehicle and then have, shit able to fire from it with someone inside the vehicle targeting it? Yeah, 100%. Does this exist in this configuration? Well, the B2 exists and probably some other crazy shit, like the B2 Spirit. You ever seen a B2 Spirit? Smells like Teenage Spirit? Yeah. So to put it in this designation, or to put it in this, like, mechanical setup that it's shooting, missiles and cannons and shit, yeah, could it? 100%, but you'd lose your stealth necessarily if you had something sticking out the side of it.
V2 warship inbound.
The VTOL is literally just a jet-powered Osprey that can hover in place and work like an Apache. It is a jet-powered Osprey that functions like an Apache. Do you know why this doesn't exist? Because we don't need it to. Because we have the fucking Apache. And the Osprey already has, like, mixed results. Some people say they love it. Other people say they hate it. I've never been around one, so I don't know. And I'm not a flight engineer or know anything about Bernoulli's principles and all that crap. All I know is it looks scary, and I would not want to fly in one. Because, like, you've got Bernoulli's principles for wings and shit and airflow and all that. And then a helicopter mathematically isn't supposed to work because all you're really doing is just beating the air into submission. And I feel like combining those two things is the most Marine Corps thing that I could think of.
Friendly canine unit in your AO.
There has been attack dogs in Call of Duty games for literal decades, okay? I think the first one that had attack dogs was the original COD World at War. And if you noticed, the screen is black behind me at certain points here because I never liked seeing the dogs get killed in the game. Straight up. I hated those missions in Modern Warfare where you had to snap the dogs' necks. I just felt real bad about it. That's all. Call me a weenie. I just felt bad about it. So, yes, attack dogs. Yeah, those things have exist like for hundreds of years in war. It's not a crazy idea. I think like literally when wolves first started hanging out with fucking Cro-Magnon men because they realized, oh shit, these guys will feed us. And we eat way more with these motherfuckers around. I think the first battles of mankind, I would not be surprised if wolves, dogs, were involved in them. So centuries, millennium, whatever you want to freaking say. I've been sitting here filming this, and I just thought of this meme. The creature that doesn't get tired as it's chasing you, it's teamed up with wolves.
Swarm inbound.
All right, we're at the one that scares the shit out of me, okay? Drone swarms 100% exist.
Are releasing a swarm of micro drones.
Mark release.
They're called Perdix micro drones, and they were originally developed at the MIT Lincoln Lab. They're meant for intelligence, surveillance, and recon. 103 3D printed drones were deployed from FA-18 Super Hornets in October. This is what the swarm sounded like. The drones were given missions, and the swarm was able to perform collective decision-making and fly in formation. It was the largest swarm ever tested by the Department of Defense.
Fuck. These things scare the shit out of me. Right now, there's not a lot that counters them. There are some things. But I feel like people should be more afraid of drones, personally. But yeah, Treyarch, you may have gotten two wrong, but holy shit, you got that one right. For you guys that hung out, I know this is not like a normal video that I do, but at the exact same time, I'm with it. I'm just kind of making whatever I feel like, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy it as well. So you guys just let me know what you think of this format or this style of video of me just fucking ranting about a 10-year-old game and how it affects, my day-to-day life. So, yeah, just let me know. If you guys like this shirt or any of my shirts, you can hit the link in the video description, or you can hit the thing down here if you're on TikTok or wherever the hell you're watching it. Hit the thing in my bio. It's up to you. And I'd like to thank my partners, Echelon, because they are really sitting here motivating me to make better videos because they want to see me succeed, and I can really appreciate that. And I really like their products as well. So, if you guys like some really good energy drinks, literally the cleanest energy drink on the market, head on over to Echelon's website. That link is also in wherever I listed earlier, so you can check them out. When I say they are really good, and they are the only energy drink I drink at this point, I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, pick some up. That shit slaps. If you liked what you watched, cheapest way to support me, literally just leave a comment and let me know what you guys want to see next. All right? Thanks, guys.